In the name of God, who created us in his loving and generous image. Amen. Please be seated. I heard a funny story recently about a preacher's little boy who inquired to him, "Daddy, I notice every Sunday morning when you first come out to preach, you stand in the pulpit and you sit there and you bow your head in silence. What are you doing?" The father exclaimed, "I'm asking the Lord to give me a good sermon." The little boy said, "Well, why doesn't he?" Today on St. Andrew's Day, we honor and support all that parents have to put up with and all the ways that we can certainly support you in your ministry at home. It is wonderful to have the school and the church together in one big giant fellowship, and it is certainly a wonderful occasion. St. Andrew's Episcopal School is our largest program, our largest ministry, and in the year 2011, we will be celebrating its 50th anniversary. Born out of the vision of Roy Strasburger and the leadership of St. Andrew's as a parish school for the parish children, today it has blossomed into one of the finest schools in the Bay Area. Just the other day I was driving around in my car and I heard on the radio St. Andrew's Episcopal School Open House, which was yesterday, a wonderful advertisement about our program, and I thought, well, now that's a proud moment when you hear your own program on the radio. It really was wonderful. St. Andrew's Episcopal School offers a 21st century education which stresses academics, character, and leadership. And the school's commitment is to the whole child, and this space right here is where a lot of that commitment to the whole child takes place. Last month I made a presentation to the school board about the characteristics of the Episcopal Church because I thought to myself, you know, in and outside of the Episcopal Church, we really don't have a good vocabulary to describe us, our uniqueness, our gifts, what are the prominent characteristics. Generally, we default to describing us in relationship to the Catholic Church. Like we say, we're Catholic light, or we're Catholic with only half the guilt, or we're Catholic, but we don't have a pope, or we ordain women. And, you know, it seemed to me that we really should talk about our own uniqueness. So there are 4 characteristics which I stressed during that time, and they are respect, community, curiosity, and courage. Respect. We are a denomination that respects individual viewpoints and individual spiritual paths, knowing that everybody is working very hard to gain the understanding of God. We also are a denomination that respects the great wisdom that is found in the world's religious traditions. We are a denomination that values community, and it is important for us to feel as if we are in community with one another in communion, and that gives a great support to what we do around that table as we share communion. We are a church that is courageous. We are willing in the public sphere to argue and debate and find our way on the moral and social issues of the day. We are courageous because we're willing to take a stand on some social issues, for example, around women's ordination, or that we were the very first denomination to respond to the AIDS crisis. St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital in New York City was the very first hospital that designated an entire wing to dealing and treating those who suffered with AIDS. Now, we could all debate, and we had various opinions and understandings about how the virus was contracted, but we knew that there was a suffering, that there was a need, and that we needed to respond. Because what we believe as a denomination is that where the people are, there God is. Lastly, we are a denomination that is curious. We are forever seeking a deeper understanding of our own relationship with God, of who we are in the world and what our gifts are that we can bring, and also to our understanding of the world itself. So respect, curiosity, courage, and community 4 key characteristics of the Episcopal Church. And I would say if you looked at our Episcopal school here on this campus, they are 4 very prominent characteristics of that program as well. The characteristic which stands out to me today is courage. Courage because it gives us access into our gospel lesson. Today's gospel lesson is about the call of Andrew and Peter, James and John. They were fishermen, as you know, by the Sea of Galilee. They were tending their nets or fishing in the sea when Jesus approached them and said, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fish for people." And they left their livelihood. They left their family for a time because they had a deeper yearning to know what Jesus was offering, to gain understanding of God's love in their lives. Now, it might be that this was the very first occasion for Andrew and Peter to meet Jesus, but I think they probably knew each other. They were familiar with that area. Unless we think that they went too far from home, according to the next section in the Gospel of Matthew, they went and they ministered in a town, in a synagogue, healed some people, and then went home and sacked out at Peter's house. So they really weren't that far from home at any one point. I think for our 21st century minds, the action of leaving the boat, of leaving the nets, is significant. For Americans, what we do has a lot to do with who we are. When we meet people for the very first time, what do we say? We say, "What is it that you do?" And for many cultures, that's not an easy question to hear asked. What is it that you do? But for us, it's how we locate ourselves in the world. It's how we understand who we are and then gain understanding of someone else. And we put so much time and effort into what we do in the world. Sometimes our entire families are organized so they can support what we do in the world. And yet so much time and energy is placed there that it really hasn't lifted the quality of life that we expected. And looking at our gospel lesson, I see a powerful example of courage and faith, of willing to leave what they did in order to seek a deeper understanding. They left the security of their work to follow Jesus in hope of something greater, richer, and more meaningful for themselves and their families. And what they learned as they followed Jesus was that they were the light of the world. What they learned as they followed Jesus is that all around them was the kingdom of God.